Each year, thousands fall victim to domestic and child abuse across the valley, but the number of people reporting the case luckily is rising, in part thanks to awareness and outreach. This morning we have with us Cameron County District Attorney Louis Saenz to explain a little bit more of what you guys are doing to help curb the abuse problem here in our own community. And you were just telling us that the numbers are staggering about how many cases you guys see.
Yes, good morning, Brad. Well, it's ironic that, valleycentral.com, if you go on there like I did this morning, your first 3 cases are, domestic violence cases. Teenager, boyfriend drags the girlfriend by the ankles. The husband gets upset because he can't find his luggage, beats up the wife, and the story that Victoria just covered about where the defendant stabbed the female 24 times. So it's just one case after another case. It's just an alarming number, disturbing, and at the same time very depressing, that this is out there.
So what can we do as a community to curb this problem?
Well, actually, it's got to be with awareness. It's got to be just with basic fundamental respect for another individual. It begins at home when mom and dad teach the kids that you can't hit anybody, that you got to respect everybody else, and it's okay to disagree, but that just go back to our religious teachings and showings that you can't hit anybody, you can't strike anybody. The domestic violence is once you strike somebody, the second time it's get a little easier, the third time you end up with the lady getting stabbed 24 times.
Now, when it comes to domestic violence and child abuse, usually they're pretty much correlated. And how does it affect children who see abuse in their homes?
Well, as you know, I'm not a psychologist, but studies will show that any child that is raised in such an environment, the propensity and the chances are that this child, because she learned that conduct, is going to repeat that conduct. And it's part of the vicious cycle that we talk about when we talk about domestic violence. It is a vicious cycle that we've got to break. By working with law enforcement, by working with schools, with pastors, with outreach organizations like Tip of Texas and Friendship for Women.
So tell us, if we see domestic violence in our neighbor's home or a family member's home, where do we go?
Call the police, report it. Call the police. You have to report it and you have to call the police. This is the crime that obviously and it's usually a girl, although men also get abused, but this is the kind of crime that the wife is not going to pick up the phone and call the mother, say, "Mother, I got beat up last night. Mother, I got assaulted last night."
Right.
So if you hear it, if you're a neighbor, if you're a friend, if somebody reaches out to you, report it. It's got to be reported so that she can get help.
Obviously, there's something that all of us can do in the community to help curb this problem. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Saenz. And with that, we'll send it back over to Victoria.